Teardown recently got its full 1.0 release, so I figured I'd pull off some heist-themed missions to make some money, since my useless college degree I just got isn't doing the trick. What drew me to the game is the destructible voxel environments, but let's see what Teardown is all about and if there's any substance behind it. The story opens with you getting a message from your grandma about how she can't pay the bills and needs you to do some shady jobs to earn money. This sends you down a criminal path where every time you complete a job, there's another one waiting for you. The story and level structure is much like Hotline Miami, in that different characters all contract with you to get their dirty work done, like a corrupt police officer or different guys trying to get revenge on each other. In all the missions, you're given primary targets, which you have to do to complete the level, and optional secondary targets that give you bonus XP. Each level is designed as a giant environmental puzzle of sorts where you analyze everything in the level, from the kinds of vehicles to what the most optimal route is. There are no hints as to how to get the targets within the time limit, which makes each mission feel like you're a mastermind who came up with and pulled off a genius plan. It's never too difficult though because of the optional secondary targets. Some missions I was only able to get the primary objectives in the time limit, and in other missions I was able to get everything. This freedom in choosing how many targets to go for allows you to scale the difficulty on a level-to-level basis. There are a lot of different target types, from stealing safes, which you physically have to move, to stealing cars, which you drive to an escape point. The game also lets you choose when to save at any point during a level, which is a godsend since the game is so open-ended. It allows you to save before you try something risky or before an escape attempt, so you don't have to set up the escape from scratch every time you fail. Although I did lose a bunch of progress a few times since modern gaming has conditioned me to the autosave, which obviously wouldn't work here. Most of the time spent in missions is centered around planning how you're going to pull off your objective, as once you set off an alarm, you only have a tight window to complete all your primary targets before you have to restart. The inventory is broken up into multiple categories that put related tools together. All of the tools serve different purposes or multiple purposes, but each tool is unlocked one at a time so you don't get overwhelmed. Some are a lot more useful than others, but I'd rather have too many tools than not enough. All of the tools allow for a lot of creativity in how you complete levels, which furthers player agency. Hidden around levels are valuable items which you can steal for money. The money is then spent on upgrading tools after each level at your house. As the levels become more complex, you rely more and more on your growing toolset to complete levels efficiently. Similarly to tools, you'll utilize a lot of different vehicles over the course of the campaign, like cars, boats, military, and construction vehicles. Each vehicle handles differently, and some serve extra functions, like having a hook to latch onto objects, for example. The vehicles and destruction of environments are all physics-based, which makes destroying environments extremely satisfying. Destruction is built into the level design, as taking out walls to create paths for yourself is often the fastest route for an escape. Some missions are even centered purely around destruction. All of the missions take place over 10 different locations that have distinct points of interest and a unique layout, much like Hitman's levels. Although you complete multiple missions in the same locations, the mission objectives, weather, time of day, and altered layout keep gameplay interesting. In one mission, you might have to pull off an escape after stealing, then in a future mission on the same level, you're dodging an attack helicopter to hack satellites before escaping. In the second half of the campaign, indestructible robots are introduced in some levels that patrol an area and hunt you based on sound.
Hello there.
There's a few big gameplay changes like that throughout the game, like a series of island missions where you only have the tools you initially started out with, along with one-off events and other missions. Bringing up the map allows you to see the entire level from an overhead perspective, letting you see what vehicles are where and where all the targets are. This helps you figure out the best route for escape. The UI and map are very minimal since the game tries to be as diegetic as possible, as opposed to having waypoint markers, which would feel less satisfying when you pull off an escape. This minimalist design helps the game be more relaxing while preparing for an escape, and more intense once an escape is initiated. This is further emphasized by the soundtrack, as in the planning stage it's very ambient and pretty calming, since it's up to you as to how long you want to plan. Then when you finally initiate an escape and that timer turns on, the music shifts to the most intense soundtrack ever that'll have you full try-hard speedrunning until you barely make the escape with seconds to spare.
Holy moly.
The The various materials sound different when they break, further enhancing the theme of destruction. Not only does the game sound good, it looks amazing, having the nostalgic voxel graphics of Minecraft but with a grungier feel. The lighting and particle effects are especially pleasing, and different surfaces have different characteristics. Although I only played the campaign, I understand why the game has a sandbox mode, since it's so satisfying to destroy environments in the beautiful world. There's also separate challenge missions unlocked as you progress through the campaign that serve as a fun side addition with a faster paced focus. Teardown drew me in with its gorgeous graphics and destructible environments, but kept me hooked with its freeform levels and ever-growing depth. It's a game that makes you feel smart because every level is up to you to figure out. You have an expansive set of tools but have to figure out how to use them to complete the wide range of missions. Planning how you'll execute each level is what you'll spend the majority of your time doing. Even though that is slower paced, every decision you make is for a greater goal in the interconnected puzzle that is the level, so there's never a dull moment. You're always analyzing what vehicle needs to go where and what route you think is best. Then when that timer starts, you get a rush that is unmatched as all of your planning culminates in the perfect escape. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe to see more videos like this in the future.